Welcome back. I'm Hannah from 21st Century KY and 21st Century Literacy for Primary Teachers group on Facebook. In my last post, we talked about the 4 different types of readers you may have in your classroom, and today we're going to talk about one specific type. First, let's recap. Remember, we talked about fluency and accuracy and how when we put those 2 scores together, we can determine 4 basic types of readers within our class. First, you have the fast and right reader. This means they're benchmarked for fluency and they're reading at a 95% or more accuracy rate. This is what all of our students should be striving for. Next is the slow and right reader. This reader is reading at a 95% accuracy, but their fluency is below benchmark. That means they're reading slowly, but they're reading correctly. So they're on the right track and have a few things to work on. Then there's the fast and wrong reader. This reader is benchmarked for fluency, but is below 95% for accuracy. It means they're missing a lot of words, more than 5 out of 100, as they are reading the text. The last type of reader is the slow and wrong reader. This reader is below benchmark for fluency and accuracy. They have some capability, but they have a lot to work on as well. The next type of reader is the fast and wrong reader, and they can be the trickiest of the bunch in my opinion. A fast and wrong reader is reading a benchmark for fluency, but for accuracy is below 95%. We're going to talk about this reader in 3 ways. We're going to talk about the characteristics of a fast and wrong reader. We're going to talk about their proficiencies and what they do well. And then we're going to talk about instruction and what we would teach them next in a guided reading group. The first thing about a fast and wrong reader is that they have a quick pace. They are reading at benchmark level for fluency. So that means they're getting through the proper number of words in a minute to be benchmarking a grade level passage. They are probably making their own meaning as they go. They're not slowing down because to them, what they're saying makes total sense. The fast and right reader is also probably miscalling words. Part of the reason they're so fast is because they are saying a word every time they come across one. But what they're saying may not be the right word. It may be meaning of their own making. It may be a word that has the same beginning letter. It may be a word that would make sense there, but it's just not the right word. A fast and wrong reader also may not apply phonics. They're taking their best guess and making a stab at those words by just calling out a word, but they're probably not taking the time to try to solve the word in any way. So they're probably not applying any phonics skills. They're also probably not attending to punctuation. If they were getting the inflection that is intended based on the punctuation, they would probably get more of the words right because they would realize that what they're saying isn't making sense because a lot of the words are wrong or are missing. Fast and wrong readers are at or above fluency for benchmark, at or above benchmark for fluency, like we talked about, but they are below benchmark for accuracy. This means when given a grade level text, they miss more than 5 out of 100 words, or more than 2 to 3 out of 50 words, depending on the grade level. Now, there's a lot of things we talked about here with their characteristics that you could find wrong. But my challenge is for us to look at these readers for what they can do well. And fast and wrong readers do have some proficiencies. They do have some reading skill. Otherwise, they wouldn't get enough words to be at benchmark for fluency. So many times we look at kids who are anything less than fast and right, and we think about what they can't do, and we try to make our instruction be about filling those holes and gaps in their learning. And my challenge is to let's think about what they can do well, and then how we're going to take what they can do and build their instruction around that, so that we really strengthen them as readers instead of arbitrarily trying to fill deficits. One thing that a fast and wrong reader can do is use picture clues. chances are they are looking at clues other than the words on the page. If you've given them a text that is in book form where they have pictures to look at, these kids can fool you into thinking that they're great little readers because they are making meaning based on the pictures that they're seeing, and they're calling words based on what they think it should be. And because of that, they are able to make meaning while they read. Unfortunately, the meaning that they're making is their own and may or may not be what's intended by the written text. These kids have a small core of known vocabulary and sight words. If they didn't, they wouldn't be able to score that fluency rate. So they do have some words that they know with some amount of automaticity because they're calling them as they come. Unfortunately, they may not be strong in those words if they're miscalling them or missing some of those sight words at different times. They also understand how reading should sound. Likely when they read, it sounds like a story, and there's some ebb and flow in their voice, and they might be making a great story. Unfortunately, it's not the right words. So we have to take what they can do well, using those picture clues, the fact that they understand how reading should sound, and that core of known words that they have, and we have to build their instruction around that. We have to draw their attention back to one-to-one correspondence. Sometimes fast and wrong readers are the trickiest readers because we have to slow them down first and fix the wrong part before we can build that fluency back in. They probably need to be pointing to words with their fingers and making sure that every time they point, they're saying a word. That one-to-one correspondence will also bring their attention back to the print. So they're going to be looking at those letters in order to make better judgment on the words they're coming across. So we need to build their battery of strategies, if you will, by calling their attention back to the words on the page because they're really not paying close enough attention to those words in order to get them right every time. They probably need an increase in sight vocabulary. If they are missing sight words by miscalling them, or if they are just not getting them at all and guessing, then more often than not, those words are not solidified in their mind. Or they may be able to call them out of context on a flashcard, but when you put them in a sentence, they are not getting those words. They need lots more practice with words in context instead of in isolation. These kids also must improve their self-monitoring. They have to know when they're wrong. When they're reading, they have to recognize that what they're saying isn't making sense, or they have to recognize that the words they're pulling out aren't matching the words on the page. They really have to improve their ability to make meaning as they go and to cross-check with more than one source of information. Just looking at the pictures is not going to give them all the answers. They have to be able to check for themselves if what they're getting from the picture matches what the word is, sounds right, and enables them to make meaning from the sentence. So fast and wrong readers need to take those things they're good at and dial them down, hone in on them a little bit, and then get that accuracy up. And then build that fluency back in so that they become fast and right readers.